You split the council, that man, that man, and you.
If I could please have your attention, we're going to start tonight's meeting with prayer, and our very own Brad Spurlock is going to lead us this evening. Thank you, Brad.
If we can, let's bow our head and pray this evening. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we approach your throne of grace tonight to thank you and praise you for your many blessings that you've given us, watching over us, guiding us with your mighty hand. Father, as we come here tonight, Father, we ask you, Lord, to be with us in everything that we say, everything that we do. Lord, you'll receive the honor and glory from it. We'll be careful what we say, Lord, in everything that we do, that we should honor you. We do seek wisdom, Lord, and continue to bless our city in every aspect we can. Father, we're going to love you and praise you, give you honor and glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Spurlock. It's good when you've got an ordained pastor on staff. That's awesome. Thank you.
Where is Amber? I don't know. I'd like to call the committee of the whole meeting from May 6, 2025 to order. Roll call, please.
Misty. Here. Mike. Daniel.
Here.
Amber. Here. Tim.
Here.
Larry.
Here. Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like, or I seek approval of the April 1st committee of the whole minutes. Oh, wait a second. Is that right?
No, we're doing the agenda.
We've got to approve tonight's agenda first.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. Approval of tonight's agenda first.
I know Mr. Washkowiak can't be here, and he had requested via email yesterday to all of us that we table the items that had his name next to them. I don't know if it's easier to remove those from the agenda or to table those when they come up. I'm amenable to either. Any thoughts?
I'm fine with tabling all three of them together. They're
Okay.
back to back.
Should we table them at that moment or just remove them from tonight's agenda? I'll make a motion, we remove them from tonight's agenda.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Tim.
Yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Daniel. Hello.
Sorry, yes, sorry.
Misty.
Yes.
Mayor bugging me.
Now I seek approval of May 6th committee of the whole minutes.
Is that April or May?
It would have been May the 6th committee of the whole.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Only that.
Looking for a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Tim.
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Misty.
Yes.
Daniel.
Yes,
Larry.
Yes. Next, we have comments from citizens. Please hold your comments to 3 minutes or less if possible. And if you're ready to take the floor, please, anyone.
My name is Tammy Graham, 1984 South Penalto Road. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I'm a short person. So I'd like to say that you are the law. and you are the ordinances. And without laws and ordinances, that's what we're a nation of. And without those, we descend into chaos. And I appreciate the fact that we have people who enforce the law, but you are the law, and that is an incredibly important responsibility or burden that you bear for we the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Broke my glasses, so I'm looking cute. Kenneth Lovett, 18702 Clearwater Road. CETA completed their testing. They did not test in the hot spots that they did previously, so there's some concerns from the citizens that with what the results will be, but we'll just wait and see how that goes. Someone brought up last month that an automotive repair shop here didn't have an ID number. I pulled the same information on the Red Door Lounge down the street down here, and he don't have ID number either. So I'm wondering why we're picking people specifically out of a crowd to call out individually when the whole bunch of us is screwing up, you know? Maybe not everybody, but a lot of folks. So anyway, I got some more to say, but I think I'll hold it for later. I appreciate all y'all do. I don't always agree with you, but y'all do stop and think about things. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Mick Wagner, 409 Penzo. First of all, a statement was just made that somebody didn't have a sales tax ID. It's required under state law. And I think if you'll go to the Red Door, you'll find their sales tax ID immediately over the bar, just for a matter of clarification.
Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Come. All right, next we go to old business. We have a discussion and review of cleaning service bids for the city hall. And would that be you, Mayor?
I can take it. Okay, you guys pretty much know what's going on with the cleaning bids. Is there any particular company that you guys find that you like? I understand that I don't have to come to council with this, but I'm trying to be completely transparent with everything I do.
And I failed to ask Mr. Burris, but it didn't have anything pertaining to mold, obviously, but did either one of these companies have anything to do with your fiasco?
No, you know,
Okay.
mold's a whole.
I understand. I just didn't know if
It's
these.
a whole different matter. No, I don't know these companies. I know, I've heard of them. I've heard
Okay,
of two of
okay.
them. But you know, just like y'all, I'm just looking through it and saying, okay, well, you know, what's the cost, et cetera. I honestly, as I look through it, I can see that there are some cost differentials. I don't think that any of them are major. But all things being equal, going with the lowest bid is always the right direction, I think. But if there's something I don't know, I know Luann isn't here to talk about it tonight. That would be helpful. Do you know anything, Mayor, or does anybody else know something that we don't know?
No, I just have the same information in that you guys do.
Okay.
Council?
Looking at the bids, one of the things that I think that sets them apart is the location of the business. You've got this one that we I would call it bid number 3 by janitorial, I guess AJ. They're in Centerton, the other one's in Little Rock, and the other one I think is out of state. I could be wrong, but
They,
I kind of like
they do have businesses here in town.
located here.
Yes, local. That's just their main office.
Of the three, the one with the local headquarters seems to be a great deal more than the others, but are all of these twice a week?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it seemed to me, if they're all the same as Tim said, go with the low bid. And do we have to sign a contract? I mean, with any of these?
We have to sign a contract with whoever we
Right.
choose. However, it depends if we do month to month or yearly.
Okay.
If it's month to month, I can make the decision. If it's yearly, then council has to make the decision.
I would like to see more quotes. I mean, I understand getting 3 is great, but there are just so many cleaning companies. How many people did we ask? Did we only ask these 3?
We had some that come in and didn't get back with us, a couple of them. And at the last meeting, I was only asked to get one more.
So I noticed that the one offers a pre-cleaning upgrade to get us where they want us to be so that we're on par, but I'm not really seeing that with the other two.
I missed that. Where is that?
It's on the
second bid? Or
the
first?
second bid, that's $689 a month.
Which is
For-
Vanguard?
Yeah, they offer a we pay a one-time $300 fee and get us up to where they want us to be, so it just, but the other two, I didn't really see something like that. And they all seem to have extras, so being that I don't clean here and know what's needed on a regular basis, I'm having a hard time fully understanding which is the right one because they're all a little different in what they offer. That's just where I'm keep landing on. I mean, the cheapest one is obviously Jan Pro, but it's still over our budget that we had budgeted for the year, and it's only twice a week instead of 4 times a week. So,
Well, if you look at the numbers, the Janny Pro, in fact, we can do whatever we want, of course, but for now, I'd like to take the third one off the table simply because it's so much. Okay.
I'm with you on that.
Okay, but on the first one, that's Janny Pro, that's $7,320 per year. And on the second one, yes, they do provide that upgraded, thanks for pointing it out, $300 cleaning fee, but that's $8,268.
Right.
So it's a difference of almost $900 a year, or, a month and a half of cleaning. So unless Janny Pro would charge us a great deal more than $300 to get us up to, par or whatever they want to call that, then I don't know that there's a huge difference. Again, some of the, if I'm cleaning the office, I'm looking at all the stuff that needs to be cleaned and I'm cleaning it. So I appreciate that they're giving us a list of things.
No, we actually gave them a list of things
Okay.
that was the previous
Okay.
cleaners were doing, and they went off of that
Okay,
list.
good. So those are the same.
They offer a whole lot more.
Okay, so those are the
services.
same across the board. I got you.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. I don't have anything further to add, I don't think.
Does somebody want to make a recommendation one way or the other? Number 3 is out.
All right, I would make a recommendation for Janipro. They're the least expensive, and I mean, it does look like they catch everything that I would think would need to be done.
And cleaning has since the previous meeting ceased, correct, Mayor?
Yes.
You got anything to add, Amber?
Nope.
Okay. I'd make a motion that we select Jan Pro and move that to the city council to approve a contract with them.
You're seconding it. Misty's already made the motion.
Okay, second.
Okay, roll
You said
call.
recommendations.
Larry,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
Misty.
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Moving to city.
Next, we have an approval of a sale of a city-owned property at 581 North Barrington.
I'll make it short. At the last council meeting, the council agreed to move this forward to the Cal for further discussion. I will tell you that Brad and I met with Amalfi Partners this morning to, one, identify whether or not they want to move forward with the contract. They indicated to me that the current contract stands as is, that's being presented. They really need to have some kind of decision tonight based on the fact that prices are kind of wild right now when it comes to material, especially on steel. And the longer they wait, the more expensive it gets. So I don't really know if I could answer any questions. All I'm just telling you is that that's whatever's being presented tonight is what they told me that they would like you to vote on, and that therefore they would try to make this as fast as possible, giving the time element. Thank you.
Citizen comment?
Rhonda Dowdna, 462 Poser Lane. I just want to clarify what I watched, make sure I've got this right. We've got a builder that I think is a good builder. I think he's stood up to every word he's done. We fought him back on the zoning for 4. He's fine. He bought the property back there at $67,000 an acre. He's got less than an acre here on a corner spot that it's not going to do anybody else any good. The house isn't worth it. I've been in it. You can't move that house. You're buying dirt. So the man has offered, he went from 75 to 156, and at less than an acre, with down at the end of the road, almost 2 acres there that we're going to have to purchase. And you guys are spit fighting over pennies. So if we're paying him 156 for less than an acre, wouldn't that tell us down the road it's going to be 300,000 or maybe 200? So in the long run, we're coming away with, way ahead of the game. We keep saying we've lost money on this property. It happens. It happens. You got to cut your loss and move on. You can't just go, oh, poor pitiful me. Oh, the guys did this. You did this. Got to quit pointing at each other and work together. But it's obvious we got one man back, and he's running the show again. He's sending emails. He's splitting your council. He's got 2 people in the city hall walls doing his dirty work for him. And he's going after citizens to get up here, gives them a tidbit of information like he used to do, and gets you up here screaming and hollering for him. And all it is to aggravate you. It isn't to help us in any shape or form. This is what I hate. I don't like it. I don't get up here and scream and call people names and act stupid. I get up here with a point, and I'll tell you just what I think. I have that right too, just as well as they do. But this is getting nasty and it's getting stupid. Why do you think everybody looks at us and laughs? Tontitown, you bunch of crazy people. This man has been a good builder. He's offered you a good deal. And you'd be stupid not to take it, because later on we're going to say, nah, 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 we told you so. We told you so. You need to listen to the people you put in place that work in this city, that have the experience. This man just has money and sets up on a hill and throws things at us. What has he done for our city? What has he gave us ever other than bullshit and pain? I'm sick of it. Get it together, work together, and stop this, because I can't fix it for you. You got to speak up here when this crap goes on, and you got to put a boot in it. Thank you.
Amy Graham, 1984 South Penalto Road. I would like for you all to know that when I speak for myself. Nobody tells me what to do. okay? I do research as well, and I know right from wrong. And you don't see me up here that much. But when you do, there's something serious. But no one speaks for me. No one tells me what to do. I speak for myself. Thank you.
By the way, for the record, I also speak for myself.
Citizen comments right now, sir.
May I make a comment, Larry? It's within your purview to say yes or no.
If you want to step to the mic.
Sure. I'd be happy to. As a father and citizen of Tontitown, I am appalled as a citizen that people will come up here and use profanity when my children are watching this online. It's a travesty. It says in our code, we don't speak that way. So if we want to call each other names or say that it's stupid, I think was the word that was used. Again, I'm not speaking as a council member. I find that anybody is allowed to speak and share their mind as a citizen, but please do it without profanity. And if any of you can't, please find yourself another place to watch.
You forgot your address.
I live at 2861 South Barrington Road. Thank you.
Kenneth Lovett, 18702 Clearwater Road. I'm not here to tell you what to do or anything, but I feel like I have a right, in my opinion, being not in the city, but in the planning area. So Mr. Alvara took the initiative to go and talk to these folks. And to my knowledge, it makes real good sense what she's put together. Other folks have argued the point of dollars and cents, but I think if everybody would calm down and look at the dollars and cents, it's going to come out a lot better. Like you say, down the road, you got to pay the people for the easement. You don't have nothing in that house. I never understood why we bought it to start with, other than we were going to build a police station there, is my understanding. But Mr. Taldo pulled his land from underneath the city, is what I understood too. So you can't build on something that don't belong to you. So, we got the right of way to that part. We're talking to the people that has the right of way on the other end. $67,000 is a whole lot better than 75, and a whole lot even more than zero. If you throw it out as bids, you're gonna have somebody coming in here showing their butt trying to get it for cheap, and then they're gonna rub it in your face. So just think about it before you do it. We need rid of it. We need that 3,000 foot of square space from the people that want it. Since we didn't get our police station there, we need some businesses there. Thank you.
Well, seeing no more citizen comment, council?
Well, I'll start. I apologize for not being at the last meeting and for the communication issues that we had and for cutting people off. It's tough when you're in a different country. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I had a meeting with the developers. They're very reputable. They were easy to talk to, very understanding. And, after the first initial council meeting that we had with the $75,000 offer, I just met with them. I put some numbers together, come up with a plan, thought, I'm just going to appeal to them. A lot of times developers are willing to, they want to have a good relationship with the city. They want to work with the city. They're usually not asked. So I just asked. It was a kind of a big ask, actually. I said, I put numbers to paper and a pen to paper and got some numbers. So pretty close. We purchased 0.98 acres for $270,000. which is 42,688 square feet. So I divided that, 270,000 by the square footage to get $6.32 a square foot. After we take out our right-of-ways, it leaves 0.54 acres-ish, which is 24,829 square feet. And if you multiply the square footage times the property, the remaining property that is left, it is $156,920, which is what we have left in the property. The appraisal that we received does not take into account the right-of-ways. So the 304,000 doesn't, it doesn't take that into account. So it is not worth that. That appraisal was done without the right-of-ways in mind, to my understanding. So I came to them asking, would you be willing to increase your offer to what the property value is actually worth after our right-of-ways? And I said, but still, to the citizens, it still doesn't look like a great number. It still looks like a loss if you're just looking at the numbers. So I had a bigger ask, and I know that at the, down the road, we're going to need to purchase property from them for Fletcher. So I just asked, would you be willing to donate what we need to build our road? And they said, you know what, to make our numbers work, we'd be willing to do that if we could get a small piece rezoned. And so anyway, they said yes, which is a couple of $100,000 that they'd be donating to the city. So with all of that, it's we will be making better on the back end of this deal, of this property with them. Now they're separating it into two different pieces. That is not on the contract. We don't have that in writing. I understand that. Because the rezoning piece is going to be determined, the donating piece is going to be determined if we can get it rezoned, which it isn't spot zoning. We talked to the planning about that. So all that to say, it doesn't make any sense for us not to accept this. And in my opinion, the numbers work. We're coming out better on the back end. If we sent this out to bid, we don't know what kind of offers we would get, but I'd be willing to bet we won't get several $100,000 more in value based on the property they're willing to donate us. And that property, after all that's left, is 20 by 60 is all you can build on that, with one ingress, which is tiny. I mean, well, I don't know what, there's not much you can do on that property. And then they're willing to give us great curb appeal. It's to me, you can poke holes through it all you want. It seems to be a no-brainer. We're not losing money, absolutely not losing money. And they were willing to do it. And I applaud them for that, because they absolutely didn't have to. And so great reputation. They're good builders, and they're going to be here a while. So they want a good relationship, a good working relationship with Tontitown. So anyway, that's what I've got.
Daniel?
I was trying to write down all your information as you went, but some of the things that caught me when you were speaking on that was you dissected it at the 270,000 that we bought it at, 2022. Why wouldn't we do it at the 305?
Because
even though the 305
worth that. I mean, it isn't worth that at this point. Once we take our right-of-ways out of there, it's not worth that. I don't know why we would try to squeeze more out of them when that property isn't worth that at this point. We wouldn't be able to, sell that today for $305,000 once we take out the.
There's only one entity that property's worth anything to at the end of the day, and it's these guys,
Yeah, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Why would we not? I mean, they're going to give us a great curb appeal. It allows them to extend their building by 1,000 square feet, maybe 3,000. I can't remember what your numbers were. Yeah. I mean, who knows what would happen to that property if it sold? What business would go there? But I have a strong feeling that whatever they do there, they're going to give us great curb appeal, and it just benefit the city all the way around.
Misty? Tim?
You want to speak? You want to speak, Mrs. Piazza?
No.
You know, the first offer we got at 75, I thought was a ridiculously low offer. I never mind when somebody makes an offer to try to get what they want, so I don't hold that against Amalfi or anybody else. I appreciate and applaud Councilmember Ibarra for taking the steps and going and having the discussion. I appreciate you gentlemen for engaging in that. I think the number of 156,000 is a good number. I appreciate you guys came up with that number. My math is a little different, and so my math would show that that number is off by somewhere between $16,930 and $20,864.50. Frankly, in a city government this size with a budget this size, to be off by $20,864.50 is a statistical or rounding error. That doesn't bother me. So I think, in theory, the idea is fine. If you guys want to vote for it, I totally understand that. I think the better price is somewhere between $173,850 and $177,784. But again, it's a small amount of money. Here's my concern. There's a lot that has to happen to make this work the way that is being proposed. There are several things that have to work out just right. And in the history of my being here, there's this guy named Murphy, and his law would say that nothing ever goes as planned. Anything that can possibly go wrong will. And so there's a whole lot that can go wrong. One way we can potentially fix a whole lot that could go wrong is by having a legal agreement, not just for the purchase, but for that other piece of property as well. And if we can have a legal document in place, I'm for it. It has to be ironclad. It has to show that there's no backing out. I don't blame Mr. Taldo, as mentioned earlier, who had offered us an acre of land so we could build a police station. He changed his mind. He was able to sell it. It's his land. He can do that. I don't mind that, but things change. And I'd rather this not be one of those things that change. Somebody told me not long ago that when it comes to the city, on a land deal, we almost always get the fuzzy end of the stick. And that's been my experience as well. I think it's a great offer if it can work out the way that we say, and we can make that happen legally. If we can do all that, I will vote for it. If we can't do all that and know 100% that it's going to work, and I don't know how we guarantee that, I still have a hard time voting for it, in part because we don't have to sell the land. Mr. Penzo just passed away. We could turn that into the Arthur Penzo Memorial Park, right? We could put up flowers. We could do whatever we want. Do we have any net gain from that? No, not necessarily. But we also don't need to sell a house at a loss. I tell my clients all the time, we want you to buy low and sell high, not the other way around.
So if I may ask a question and put you guys on the spot, what can we do to put that in writing? Is there anything that we can solidify tonight? I know that's pretty on the spot. Yeah, sorry, Justin.
Hello, my name is Justin Salter. I'm one of the partners in Malfi Partners. Unfortunately, there's not anything we can put in writing right now because we don't know how much land it is that Fletcher Road extending further west will be. We don't know the amount of land that Fletcher, when it takes away from the land we own, we don't know the shape of what that will leave us there at the future Fletcher and I say Clint's, I hope that's the way everybody else says it, Clint's Road. We don't know what that would leave, and so it would be ironclad. Something would be extremely impossible just because we don't have legal descriptions.
I understand. I do.
We feel very confident, and we feel like the offer that we've made is a good offer to the city. We're extremely excited about the opportunity to add on to our building and move ahead. We understand that the city's not in a position where they do have to sell it. And if they want to make it into a memorial or a park, it's your land, it's your land, you get to do with it whatever you want. For us, in our company, once we get a project moving, it's important for us not to slow down and to continue on to move. And so that's kind of why the waiting to get the legal descriptions and to have Zach finish the road for the legal descriptions to know how much land it would take. And then we would have to go meet with engineers to see what we would do with what was left and how that would lay out. That's a 3-month process.
Yeah, I understand all that, but it makes me less makes me less comfortable. Again, I get it. I totally understand where you're coming from, and I think you guys have every right to make the offer. I think you've showed yourself to be stand up in all this. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Zach, do you have anything you want to add?
Zach Johnston, 155 Fantail. Just we do have those right-of-way documents prepared. So if you do, I think I've already sent them to you, but if I haven't, we can get those over to you just to make sure we close the loop, because we've definitely got the right-of-way identified at this point. So there's another step where you do have to lay it out based off that right-of-way, so I understand that. But I do have those ready. If you haven't already seen them, I can make sure I can get those to you. So just want to clarify that point.
Yeah. How quickly could you get that to us based on that?
Through our engineering, I need to go up there.
Sorry. Thank you.
We've got this with McClellan right now. We've had concept discussions only about a general piece of property being commercial at Clance and Fletcher. Get them the right of way, and I have not seen it. I was just going back through my memory logs and I haven't seen it, but say 30 days best case. It probably takes an hour, so it'll take an engineer about 30 days.
Is 30 days too long for y'all to wait? I know
Absolutely.
you want something done there. Okay.
Yeah, we got, while I was out of town last week, we got bad news with our steel provider for the building. The current drawing that we have went up $75,000 because of the tariff wars. And I hope he hangs in there. Of course, I'm not trying to build a $3 million building, but I think he is gonna stand his ground. The tariffs are gonna continue to increase, and we've lost a lot of time. The other thing is, we have a contract with our general contractor on liquidated damages. That contract's up in October. Our drop dead date for starting Fletcher is June 15th. I set that back in the winter.
Okay.
So we're going to start Fletcher June 15th. Half Street improvements, the one that we are under contract with you, I think, to complete, and we're going to move forward with the building that we have. We're also facing another $65,000 in engineering. Well, engineering and architect combined, $65,000 in redesign to extend the building. All of that is now on hold, and both of them have told us it's going to take 45 days to come out with a new drawing, at which point we order a building that's 16 weeks out. So this thing just keeps snowballing. We're not going to have a building standing until Christmas. Yep.
Thank you.
All right, council, I guess I'm either looking for a motion to accept.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we push this to our special meeting for a vote.
I second.
Roll call.
Amber,
Yes.
Daniel,
No.
Tim,
No.
Larry,
Yes.
Misty.
Yes.
To vote, and I vote yes.
Then it will move to the special meeting.
Next I'm sorry. We will go to a discussion of an ordinance to rezone approximately 4 acres at 2785 West Liberty Avenue from industrial to commercial trades and services. Mr. Spurlock.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Wanted to bring this to you. We had a applicant submit a rezone application that's located at 2785 West Liberty Avenue. The project, they're wanting to do some flex space, flex use there. They came to us a few months back, kind of showed us some rendering. Nothing has been set in stone, but part of the land that is there was needing to be rezoned, which you have in front of you, going from industrial over to commercial trades and services. Applicant is here should you have any questions, but we're asking that you move this forward. This was approved by the Planning Commission unanimously, and I'd like to move this forward to City Council.
Comments from citizens? Council? And I guess I'm seeking a motion.
Well, anytime we can go back toward ag or bring something down, in this case to go from industrial to commercial trades and services, I'm in. So I will make that motion to approve.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Larry,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
Misty,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Moving to city council.
Next, we have a discussion of an ordinance to rezone 32.5 acres at 586 North Barrington from residential R3 to agricultural. Mr. Spurlock.
Once again, applicant had brought forward actually a plan to build some type of building on their property, which was not conducive to the current zoning of R3. After discussing what they'd like to do to meet those conditions, it was suggested we rezone this from residential R3 to agriculture, which is a lot of people's wishes. So there are 2 tracks there that you can see that we will be rezoning both of those to agriculture to make this work. Also, I should sit on the previous one as well. You saw the applications that has authorizations from the representatives, so you guys should have all that in front of you. Once again, this was voted unanimously through the City or Planning Commission, and Planning would like to see this move forward to the City Council meeting. Applicant is here if you have any discussions.
Citizens. Council. It's a big batting cage.
Yeah, well, again, anytime we move closer to ag, I'm in. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Amber,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Misty,
Yes.
Mike. Oh, never mind, we're done. Moving to city council.
Next, we have a discussion of a sale of surplus material. Mr. Clark.
I wasn't paying attention. So what we've got is some surplus material from the 2022 bond projects, water and sewer. What I listed on that sheet you have in your packet is not all of the material. We are going to be able to use some of the material. However, the casing and that 30-inch sewer pipe, even though we won't be able to keep the money, we don't have the space to store it. And when I say we won't be able to keep the money, spoke with our bond counsel actually again today. I've talked to him 2 or 3 times just to make sure that this is how we have to deal with it. If we sell this material, whatever proceeds have to go into a separate account, and we will pay that back on the bond, but not until February of 2027. That's about the size of it. Any questions about it? I'll set the date once it's approved. I just left that blank on the sheet in your packet, but probably
last week of June, first week of July.
Citizens. Council. No use for it?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Like I say, the problem is having the space to store it. You know, we've got pipes stored on Suka's property there at Break Arrow, and we've got pipes stored on Roger Griffin's property. Roger is actively trying to sell his property right now, and if someone purchases that, we're going to have to move that pipe. Some of that will be used, but there's going to be some that will have to be moved. And yes, if we had, and I've been talking to Roger also, well, for years now about trying to buy some more property from him, but honestly, he's just too high. I would love to be able to get some additional property there, but he told me just about a week ago that it would be $185,000 an acre. And we did have an appraisal done on it a while back, but it wasn't anywhere near that.
Right. Okay, well, council?
I make a motion to move this to city council.
Second.
Roll call?
Daniel,
Yes.
Misty,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
Moving to city council.
Next, we have a discussion of code amendments on 153.170 and 153.171. Mr. Burris.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. I'd like to suggest a change to city code, and it's all thanks to Larry. I don't mean Larry Artemani, I mean Larry the Rooster. It has come to my attention that there's a rogue rooster, and it's upsetting some people. And Larry the rogue rooster has dared to break city code. It's true. He has wandered into a local gas station, and as you can imagine, Facebook is a Twitter. Twitter is not Twitter anymore, you know. The rooster couldn't be caught. And so there are some non-Tontitown residents that are losing their minds over Larry the Rooster. They are verbally attacking the owner of the gas station because Tontitown code apparently prohibits roosters. That's right. So I looked at the code, thought that can't be true, but it is. Tontitown currently prohibits all roosters in residential neighborhoods, regardless of lot size. People aren't following that rule because it's a ridiculous rule. My two adjoining neighbors to the north and south own roosters on their acreage, and it's no problem at all. In fact, when they wander onto my property, we just toss a little grain at them, and especially with an egg shortage, we need more chickens in the world. So personally, I think it's a little silly to prohibit roosters, who are at least half the production mechanism to creating more chickens. This then brought my attention to the fact that code also prohibits any person from owning more than 4 pets. That means that my neighbors who own 2 horses and 5 dogs on 0.8 acres are currently out of compliance, just as much as my neighbors who own 8 fish and a fish tank who live on 10 acres. Both aren't harming anybody. The code also prohibits birds from any multifamily dwelling, which seems a little silly because no child then can own a little Tweety bird, a finch, a parakeet in an apartment would not be allowed. HOA communities and apartment complexes, of course, can set any code they want to their own citizens, and they can prohibit ponies from being in a lot or roosters from being kept as pets. But as far as the city code goes, I think it's a silly rule, and I wanted to have that removed from the code. What you'll notice is I'm asking to strike no roosters, and the prohibition of no more than 4 hens either needs to go completely away, as does the fact that we can't own Tweety bird in an apartment, or we need to be a little more clear on who can have however many chickens. Also, you'll notice it says no birds. It doesn't say no poultry. That might be what they mean. If that's the case, we just need to clean it up. I'm open to questions.
Citizens.
Rhonda Doudna, 462 Posa Lane. I do guide you to, I hear what you're saying. I agree. It's ridiculous to have pets and have but there's also a reason that you guys got to set, because what if we end up with a lady who loves cats and she keeps breeding them in her house, or dogs? And then you got a neighbor that has no ordinance to fall back on because you guys took it out. So I get what you're saying. I understand that, because a lot of us are not in compliance. I am, but a lot of us are not. So I get that, but you have to put something a little stricter about overbreeding, something, not breeding in your home, something to protect the neighbors. Thank you.
Regarding the roosters, just striking it allows them anywhere, correct? Other than obviously you can control it with HOA, those types of things. What if, you know, I do think there should be some restrictions on the roosters based on the lot size, even if they're not in an HOA.
Have you looked at the current code?
I did look.
If you look at the current code for hobby chicken, for instance, and I think, to agree, I'll agree with you. I think as much as is reasonable. But if you look at like, we've got ag all the way down to R4. It's hobby chicken is permitted in every one of those areas.
But roosters not.
Well, roosters aren't allowed anywhere.
Right. So you're saying.
I would just say let the HOA deal with that. And if we have to say whatever's reasonable, that's fine.
Well, the reason I bring this up is, you know, I'm not in an HOA, and our neighbor had a rooster that drove me crazy. It really did. It's recently died. So the pain is gone. I didn't shoot it. I didn't kill it. I didn't harm the rooster.
Well,
now the neighbor
I don't know.
behind
That seems
us,
suspicious.
the neighbor behind us has a rooster, but it's on 17 acres, and it obviously I don't hear it. I don't whatever. But the one beside me is the same acreage as me. I'm not saying prohibit my acreage. I'm just saying maybe we should limit it to certain
Half an acre or more.
I don't know. I'll leave that to whatever y'all think.
Because chickens do, roosters do cock-a-doodle-doo, dogs bark, cats meow, right? I mean, there's all sorts of things that happen, but people are going to have their pets. You know, as far as the lady who may or may not have a whole bunch of cats in her house, I say, who cares, as long as their cats are in her house.
A rooster is going to cock-a-doodle-doo every morning.
I understand. My neighbor's roosters do that very thing, and it reminds me it's probably time for me to get up.
Mayor,
Well,
your turn to speak.
Okay, if you look at D, it says placement of enclosures. All hen enclosures shall be placed at least 25 feet from the neighboring dwellings. And to Amber's point, if we made it half an acre and it'd still be put in the middle, maybe that would work.
Yeah. Well, I'm amenable. I am wondering if Amber ate the rooster or not.
You'll never know.
Yeah, I guess I will not.
So, I get the point about too many cats. A friend of the family, and not in Tontitown, had far too many dogs, and they overwhelmed her, and they had to come and take. So people try, and then they're overwhelmed with them. So I get Rhonda's point. I get your point.
Yep.
So I think maybe the ordinance, I don't know exactly what the wording should be, but I think it is silly, no roosters. That's, four chickens, that's silly. So I don't know who we need to address this and clean it up, clarify whatever the situation may be, but yes, I think something needs to be done.
Well, when I talked to Councilor Eichmann, the city's attorney, he agreed that it all seemed really silly. He thought roosters should be stricken completely. But, we are a council. We have to make those decisions together. And I like the idea of HOAs making those decisions. If we have to say, it's 4 hens or less, or it's 4 chickens or less for a certain space, I think that makes sense. But again, I think to say that, my neighbors that are on 100 acres and my neighbors that are on 8/10 of an acre, right? There's a difference. We've got neighbors, what I'm about to say is going to sound funny, that they have very, very barky dogs. And I don't complain about their very, very barky dogs, although I just did publicly, so sorry, neighbors. Because it's their dogs, right? But we live in a relatively ag community still. And I think if we have, maybe it's only roosters on half an acre or more, I'm fine with that. Chickens, whatever. I'm open to it. I'm not in any way trying to shut it down. But I think that HOAs can police that. And I don't know that it's the city's purview that we should.
Something that I find kind of humorous is you have to buy 6 chickens. You can't buy 4.
Yeah.
You have to
right.
buy 6. So you're already out of compliance.
You have
if
to hope
go
that
and
2 of
buy-
them die. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that usually happens,
Yeah.
but
State law, you're right.
so I just know that one's probably just out of time and has kind of overlapped. I see the maybe changing the placement of the enclosure for chickens for smaller properties to maybe help with the rooster. There's benefits to having a rooster when you've got chickens. They do protect their chickens, and the price of eggs right now, I just get it. But also the 4 animals that, I get all of it. I don't know if we need to table this and clean it up a little more. I think it needs a little more work before we go on it, but I think you're in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. When I first brought it up to Justin, I said, look, I don't have a dog or a rooster in the fight. I just see what, there are people that are upset, right? And at first he said, well, we won't be able to do anything until July, calendar. I said, I don't care, like whatever, that's fine. And then he got back to me that day and said, actually, I've got the verbiage. Let's go ahead and move forward. Oh, okay. So if you want to table it, look at it again, I'm fine with that.
I really enjoyed the post about the rooster. I kind of seeing where he's doing that day, but that, I'm a chicken lover, so that's a little.
Yeah. A funny thing though about farm life is roosters actually keep hens alive.
Yes, they do.
So it is helpful to have some roosters if we want to keep hens too.
I've seen it firsthand.
Okay, so we're going to discuss this at length next.
I would like to make a motion to table this until July.
I'll second that.
Okay, so I don't guess, okay, just move it to July. I don't think we need to roll call on that, do we, Rhonda?
Just do it anyway.
Okay, roll call.
Misty?
Yes.
Daniel?
Yes.
Amber?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
Motion tabled. Next Cal.
All right. Next, we have comments from our council. Daniel?
Thanks for everybody for coming out tonight. I don't have any comments.
Misty?
Thank you for coming out today. Really appreciate it. We have a lot going on right now and a lot of hard decisions to make sometimes, and we all truly try to make the best decision that we can with what we know, and we try to do our homework. So thank y'all for coming out tonight.
Amber?
No comments.
Tim?
Thank you, Larry. At any level of government, including city government, we're held to a very high standard that incorporates 3 key pieces. First, we must be without corruption. Second, we must be without even the appearance of corruption. And third, when we make errors, we want to be humble and be humble enough to apologize. We aren't perfect, but these guidelines mean that there are some privileges which most citizens of Tontitown get to possess, which I'm not able to participate in because it would look bad as a city council member. I don't complain because it's my joy to serve our community, even if it brings about some personal discomfort. Lately, there have been some, I'll say many, upset citizens sending us emails and publicly speaking out about a multitude of issues which have the appearance of corruption. And I want you to know we hear your concerns. My goal and the goal of all of us on city council is that we would be above reproach and that we wouldn't even look like we're mixed up in something that's wrong. We want to recuse ourselves from votes if it directly impacts us financially, because that's the ethical thing to do and it is above reproach to do so. We don't want any backdoor deals because it doesn't look like we're above reproach, even if things are honest and right. We want to follow the rules of the city so that we are indeed above reproach. We want to not partake in anything that would make us look guilty because we want to be above reproach. We choose to put up with a lot of criticism and slander, even when it's false, because we protect your First Amendment rights to speak out, even if we disagree with you. And we up here can't complain when we're slandered if we aren't willing to step in and defend others when they are slandered. The City Council appreciates you, our citizens. We appreciate that you ask all the questions and that you hold us all to a high standard, because as public servants, we never need to be defensive. We just need to walk with integrity in all matters and apologize when we make a misstep. So thank you for allowing us to serve, and please continue to bring your concerns to us.
Thank you. And as has been stated, we make mistakes. Sometimes in retrospect, you go, why did we do that? Or how did that ever come about? But we make decisions that I make a decision that I think is best at the time, and try my best. I really do. But I do appreciate everybody that comes out. I appreciate every opinion, believe it or not, because we can't all be alike. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it on down to the mayor.
I just want to, yes, sir, turn my mic on. I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I do appreciate you. I appreciate the comments too. And I do know that there's been lots of times whenever I've been called out, and a lot of times it's things that I had no control over. I didn't know what was going on. I just didn't know. So, and I'm talking about the IT, by the way, because I had no idea what was going on there. But I do appreciate everybody, and thank you for coming out tonight.
Seeing as how we have no attorney, I guess I'm looking for an adjournment.
I'll make a
All in
motion.
favor?
Yep. Aye. Yep. And I'll second.
Aye. 2 minutes to what before we start up?
5 minutes, special.
You don't want to just push
Okay. Mayor.
through, Danny?
You need 5 minutes, Danny?
I bet we can do it in less.
I call the special city council meeting June 3rd, 2025 to order. Roll call, please.
Tim,
Here.
Amber,
Here.
Mike, Misty,
Here.
Daniel,
Here.
Larry.
Here.
We've already done the Pledge of Allegiance. I seek approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Larry,
Yes.
Daniel,
No.
no,
No.
Misty,
Yes.
Amber,
Yes.
and Tim.
Yes.
Approval of a city council members to waive the 3 reading rule for ordinances on the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Amber,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Misty.
Yes.
Okay, comments from citizens. We already have had comments. I don't see anyone else looking to make a comment. We'll move on. New business, an approval of a sale of the city-owned property, 581 North Barrington.
Citizens.
Citizens?
Kenneth Lovett, 18702 Clearwater Road, sell it.
Thank you, sir. Council?
I've already said it, but without a legal document that can tell us exactly what we're getting, I'm just too hesitant to say yes, that's all.
Anybody else? I seek a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second.
Roll call.
Daniel,
No.
Misty,
Yes.
Tim,
No.
Larry,
Yes.
Amber.
Yes.
And I choose to vote. I vote yes.
Motion to sell passes.
Okay, we've already had comments from council and citizens. There is no attorney here tonight. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.